welcome back to James Montreal Beer Reviews, coming at you with a full episode. Today's beer is very special, and I guess I could explain why I'm looking like this. It's the Bernardus Ep.27. It's a Belgian quadrupel, or very strong Belgian strong dark ale. The ABV is 10% in volume, and it's a 330ml. Big thank you to Craig, TheBeeraholic, for providing this beer. It was part of our beer swap. This is available in Ontario for a limited time, and that's, I guess, when Craig got hold of a couple of bottles. Here in Quebec, it used to be offered like a year ago, maybe last summer, in the bigger bottles, and I missed the opportunity to buy some of that. But now I've just checked the website for the liquor store. It's finally back. They ordered a huge batch, so I'm definitely going to pick up a big bottle. I'll probably age it for maybe a couple of years. Surprisingly, this is probably a 2010 release, but it's good till 2015. It's quite a good allowance of time to age this beer. This is a very kind of world-class famous beer. It says on some websites, the reviews, that this is sort of a clone or little brother of the famous Westfleteren 12 from Belgium. At least they use a similar recipe. So I haven't tried that yet, so we'll see about this. But it's got a nice label, and this is the biggest, sort of the bigger beer of the range of beers they brew at the Brouwerij Bernardus. So this is the 12. It's got a very cool cap with the logo and Bernardus have a 12 on it. It's got a sort of a gentle pour, because these are very foamy beers, and as you can see, getting a bit too much, but whatever. Alright, so while this settles down, let's take a look at the body. It's a dark brown colour. Actually dark brown, not a ruby kind of red colour, it's more brown than that. And a very nice kind of frothy beige head to it as well. Let's check out the aromas. This should be very intense and complex. From the get-go, I'm getting a very fruity, sort of dark fruit profile, which is so typical for quadruples and Belgian strong dark ales. All the while, caramel roasted malts is definitely there. The typical Belgian yeastiness. Just smells like a good quadruple. Let's add a bit more to it and check out the taste. Cheers, guys. Oh, this is quite massive. This is definitely not for the faint of heart. This is a strong beer, alright. From the start, I'm getting some alcohol, but not as much as you'd expect in a 10% I guess drink. Loads of roastiness. Right now I'm getting some really fresh kind of ripe plums at the back with a bit of cherry. Well, the aftertaste is more dried fruit, like dates or figs. Quite spicy, a bit peppery in the tongue. And as I'm drinking this, it gets better and better. First sip was a bit rough because it's fairly carbonated, and as I said, it does taste like alcohol. But right now, I'm really feeling that it's gonna smoothen out on me and become more sort of velvety and drinkable. Yeah, with every sip, more things kind of open up. Just a certain thing about it, which may be hard to describe. It's not just, you know, the individual notes I'm tasting, it's the overall kind of holistic impression I'm getting, and it's very good. Alright guys, it's time for me to get more energetic and talk about this beer. I've been enjoying this a lot. This is really good. So for the Bernardus Ep.27, let's go right into the categories. For the appearance, this is a rare thing for me, but I'm going to give this a full grade. A 10 out of 10 for appearance. It looks wonderful, and it's been like that for a while, and the head retention is fantastic. And the lacing was really nice. Right now it's not that apparent, but it's really good. Nice, really good, healthy looking body, and this is just lovely. I haven't had the Westfleteren 12, but I can't really think of that being any more perfect than this in terms of the appearance. So 10 out of 10. For the aroma, I'm gonna give this an 8. At some parts, when I just started drinking this beer, it was a bit too boozy on the nose. Right now it's more mellow, so it's kind of good. I would have probably given this a 7 originally. But it's a very complex nose you get, and it's a prelude to what you will taste in the beer, so it's a good experience, so gets you ready for what's in store. So that's a good smelling beer. Roastiness, fruitiness, bit of maybe earthy kind of texture from the hops, a definite kind of caramel, even maybe chocolate note there. The taste is phenomenal. This is and I think it does it more harm when you try to, you know, go really nitty-gritty with all the small hints of that, hints of this. Yeah, sure, as I've said, there's a lot of dark fruit notes. It even has a bit of a port wine texture with a bit of a red grape kind of taste. Definite good sweetness with caramel, maybe slight chocolate notes. But as a whole, this is just, it's a pleasure, and it's a treat for your palate. Essentially, it's really good. And I love Belgian beers, and this is probably one of the best Belgian beers I've ever had. So this is good. For the mouthfeel, there is a bit of a booziness. It's sort of slight, and in fact, it actually decreases as you drink more, which is strange because usually as beers warm up, you get more booziness. But in this case, it's so creamy and so velvety and so smooth that the booziness doesn't really, I don't mind. You know, it's there, but it's a 10% beer and it's fine. Of course, if you take into account the fact that some American craft breweries have come up with phenomenal, very, you know, strong, extreme beers that don't taste like alcohol, yeah, this is not as good in terms of masking the alcohol content, but still, it's reasonable. It doesn't taste like a 10% beer. The mouth, I'm going to be reasonable, give it an 8. It's so exceptionally smooth, and there's just enough body, but I guess the booziness kind of takes away a bit from the experience. Finally, the drinkability. It's a sipper beer, and it's a treat, and you don't want to rush it, so I'm really happy it's a small bottle I'm tasting for the first time. If I bought this in Quebec, I'd have to go through a whole 750ml one, which might have been a challenge for me. But overall, for 10% quadrupel, it's a good drinkability. I mean, it doesn't get heavy or a challenge to drink really. So I'm gonna give this a 9. So overall, I'm gonna be sort of a bit more objective. Give this a 9 overall, not a 10, because, you know, taking into account all the categories, only one of them scored a 10. But this is seriously one of the best Belgian beers I've had. Really happy. Thanks again to cheers to Craig for providing this beer. Try this, guys. If you haven't tried it yet, I'm probably one of the last beer reviews to try this, or at least in the second half. But this is phenomenal, and I'll definitely look forward to aging this beer and see what it tastes like in a couple of years or so. St. Bernardus Ep.27 from Belgium, a 9 out of 10 from me. That's it, guys. Takes a good beer. Next time I'm predicting I'm going to bring you a Danish beer from Denmark, so that should be fun. Cheers.